All right. I'm Thea Schepers. I'm the chair of the governing board of the International Aid and Transparency Initiative, and that's an initiative that shares information, data, with that gets published by anyone who works in aid and in development cooperation. It gets so people share information with each other, so that people here, especially in Africa but elsewhere as well, know what's going on where in aid, development cooperation, so that you know what happens where. Governments from African countries know what gets spent where, by whom, who works together, what topics they work in, and how successful it is, and who to make sure that money gets spent better, money gets is more transparent, so we'll know and we can learn from each other as well, and that's very important. Now, I'm with the government of the Netherlands. We find transparency on aid very important, not just for ourselves and for our taxpayers, but also to make sure that people here know what's happening with our money as well, and so that people can also tell us we need other things, we need them in other places perhaps. And we are here for the first time in Africa for our members' assembly. That's our annual meeting, to discuss what to do in the future, what to do in the next 5 years. We've just established our plans for the next 5 years, and we're very excited. It's been great to be here. We have some great new ideas. We've shared some examples of how our data gets used, and it's been wonderful.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Because now you say you have a plan for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
One of our challenges so far is people don't know that this data exists, that you can use this information, that it's public to everyone. So we want to have it more known. So I'm very happy that I can tell people about it here. Another thing we want to do better in the next 5 years is make it easier to get to the information, to not have to wade through this technical stuff. You can just use a dashboard and see what's happening in your country or in your region, things like that. So there's lots more, but that's all very technical. So.
How can African governments, especially Kenya, leverage on ITA's data to improve service delivery and also fight corruption?
Yeah, I think not just governments, but other organizations can do a few things to help us make it more transparent. First thing is possibly publish this information yourself. If there's an organization, NGOs, governments who receive money or who work in projects, in development projects, or in aid, humanitarian aid, also publish their data. They will need some help, but we can help them with that. We're very happy if they do. Governments the same, but also especially governments, Kenyan and other governments, to use the information that we have in their budgeting, in their even things like ministries of agriculture or something. We can tell you what projects already happen from external organizations, and very often, it's been our experience, very often governments don't know that. They don't have as big a picture, a complete picture as they sometimes believe. There's been a great example by Nigeria that I already knew, but we again presented here, where the government had a couple of we're aware of many projects, of course, but then because all of this published public information, found many more projects that they didn't know about, and that's very useful, we believe, for governments. And we now have 19 governments in Africa who already use this data, and we hope all governments that actually receive aid or that have a lot of development organizations working in their countries, that they will also use this data.
The Kenyan government, the Treasury Center representative here yesterday, and made a presentation here. You made to understand that Kenya is one of the countries that are yet to join or come on board as far as IATI is concerned. Are we seeing any positive signs from the government that they will also join IATI, just like Liberia and Nigeria, and also contribute to IATI?
I'm not sure. We had a nice opening remarks from Director General from the Ministry of Finance, so that's promising. We'd love to see it. Yeah.
My question is in regards to data safety and security and the adoption of so many countries are adopting a lot of data security laws that are contrary to the beliefs of IATI. So what are we going to do about that?
Yeah, that's very difficult. We believe that the data that the kind of data that IATI publishes is very often safe to publish and safe to use. Sometimes you have to be a bit careful using names of people. We don't want that, but we have to be careful not to publish anything that doesn't belong online, because this is public data. Anyone can see it. Anyone can use it. Organizations, governments are more aware of data safety every day. Sometimes that's a problem, getting access to data. We've seen how sometimes things get blocked, not with intention, but that's just technical difficulties. But we have to be aware that whatever you publish is actually public.
The other question is in regards to verification of the data that you're receiving. Most African governments have been are known to be very mean with data that they get out. Sometimes they will send out untrue data, quote unquote untrue data, to organizations because they want to gain out of it. So how do you get the verification process?
Ourselves, no, we trust the organizations that publish the data, that they verify it themselves. We are just the tool, the gateway to get it out there. And it is our experience that organizations are very do this with a lot of consciousness. They are very careful, making sure that it is all correct. Of course, sometimes you want to present things a little bit better than they actually are. But that's always going to be the case, whether you write reports and put them in a drawer or whether you put this information online. We still think it's very valuable to have it online. And if governments put out information that is untrue, it's much easier to triangulate that with other sources if anyone can get to it. I've seen examples of projects that were published but did not actually exist. And people in those locations would say, well, sorry, that's not here. And that is easier to do when it's open and transparent in public. So I think ultimately there will be a process, especially if this is more used, that you'll have to be more careful to actually not lie when it's a very popular source. So, yeah.
Finally, today, there have been new resolutions that were made in regards to membership. Could you please give us a brief summary of the resolutions that we are taking home
from this meeting? Well, we made sure we have a bigger budget in the upcoming 5 years, and that's very important because I'm sure Kenyans experience everyday inflation is high. We've experienced that as well, so we have more contributions from members. Very happy about that, very grateful for that as well. Countries in Africa have also raised their contribution, and we're very grateful for that as well. And we have adopted the plans for the next 5 years, what we will do. Discussed it a little bit already, but we made sure that every member is on board with what our plans are, with the quality of our data, which needs to improve. It's great already, needs to be better, with how we make sure that the word is out there on what IATI is and what we do. So those are a couple of things we decided on. And for the rest, it was just a lot of inspiration about what we can do.
Do you have plans to make lATI data more accessible? Let's say, for example, just using my smartphone, I can go on a website and access data in a format that is easy to understand, so that I can apply for my daily work as a journalist. Just as a member of the public interested in whatever.
Yeah, we have fantastic people who make great dashboards, and that just means there are people out there who do this as their business or even as volunteers to make like websites, for example, that work really well on mobile as well. I saw a great example yesterday when someone was going to speak, I think it was the government of Liberia, going to speak on a dashboard that was created, but he was also, while he was waiting for his time to speak, going through that dashboard on his phone, and it looked fantastic. So there's more of that every day. Yeah. Of course, everything always goes more slowly than you want, but we'll get there. Please. Just in general, yeah. We've had a lot of challenges. We've had difficulty with just setting up technical stuff, but today and yesterday have been so good that I'm very optimistic about the future. It's really inspiring to meet each other. This is a very diverse group of people, as you may have seen. There's governments, development banks, people from all over the world, private sector, NGOs. I'm a government person, but I've worked with NGOs for much longer than I have been with the government. I found it heartwarming to see that everyone wants to work so hard to make sure that money is better spent. And I'm really looking forward to what we're going to do in the next couple of years.